for those particular standards, and I would rely on them as much as possible.
Okay, we've got another 15-second question. Yes or no? And this is a follow-up question. At a recent school board meeting, the district administration took the official position that all discussions and decisions on the topic of school curriculum are solely within the purview of the board and administration and should not involve parent input. Do you agree or disagree? And this is Carl.
That can't be true.
Disagree. It's okay.
Disagree, and I feel like we have a lot of parents who come from education backgrounds, but they're home with their kids, so they have a lot of positive feedback that they can give us.
I agree. I think parent input is important, although I still think that the professionals of the school district should have the primary role in it, and certainly the board is the final say. But input is important.
I disagree. I think that parent input is always important.
Okay, another 15-second question. School parent clubs such as PTAs and PTOs have traditionally focused on improving educational standards and the relationship between families and schools. Against their charters, these clubs are increasingly becoming fundraising arms to supplement curricular spending in poorly funded school districts across the nation, but also here in well-funded Carmel. For example, both River School and Tuller parent clubs raise phenomenal sums of around $250 per student for curricular programs beyond what they must raise for typical community building activities. If elected, would you vote to relieve parent clubs of the burdens of excessive fundraising by bringing their curricular programs under the district budget? And this goes to Richard.
No, I would not vote to do that. For one thing, we are facing increasing enrollment with static revenues. We may need that in the coming years. But also, this is part of our community. Anything we can add to education, anything we can add to the curriculum is to be welcome.
I actually vote yes for this. Anything that is curricular, I feel the district should be supporting. As far as PTAs, PTOs, I feel like we should be supporting supplies, equipment, things like that are outside the district arena. But I think that if it's to do with curriculum, they should be supporting it.
I think that the definition of what is curricular and what's extracurricular is what's at hand here. I think PTAs and PTOs should supplement the education that we provide. I think we provide a really rich education, but it depends on what is being added.
It depends. I think the district needs to look at the programs that are being funded by the fundraisers from the PTAs and the PTOs, and if they are part of regular curricular activity, then they should be funded by the district and not the PTAs or the PTOs. And I also think that fundraising is good to the point where it's excessive. I don't think.
It's hard. 15 seconds. Yeah. Carl.
Yes, they should be relieved of it. I don't think curriculum is, there's no place for PTOs to be doing anything curricular, in my opinion. They should support teachers in the classroom with some special needs, because I think that's a way of rewarding excellence that they see. But the district, if they can afford to do what they've done with some of the construction, can certainly afford the curriculum.
Okay, question number 15, you have 30 seconds. And this will go first to Rita. A hypothetical question. If, for budget or other reasons, the board was forced to choose between the following goals, how would you rank them as spending priorities? Class size reduction measures, campus improvements such as the science wing, integrating coursework with current technology, broader and more differentiated curricular offerings.
Jeez. They're all number one. I guess this is a difficult question, but 15 seconds. Campus improvement, technology, broader differentiated curriculum, 3, and class size number 4. And the reason class size ended up in 4 is I'd like parents to go in as A's.
I would do number 1, integrating coursework with current technology. Broader and more differentiated curricular offerings is number 2. Class size reduction, number 3, and campus improvements such as the science wing last.
I would do integrating coursework as number 1, campus improvements as number 2, class size reduction as number 3, broader and more differentiated curricular offerings as number 4.
Number 1, class size reduction. Number 2 would be integrating the coursework with the current technology. 3, campus improvements, and 4, broader differentiated curricular offerings.
I would put the class size reduction as first, but we don't have large classes across the board, so it's specific. Integrating coursework with current technology allows us to do more with less, so it helps us if we need to become more efficient. Campus improvements, I think the science wing is important, but there are other campus improvements that could be let go if we were faced with budget. And finally, broader and more differentiated courses.
Question number 16, you have 1 minute. And we will go to Annette first. Many school board candidates have been advocating for increased support for special categories of students, such as the economically disadvantaged students, the vocational students, the special needs students, and the accelerated students. Aside from any achievement gap in test scores, what concrete evidence can you provide for deficiencies in the district's support of one of these groups? Examples might include inadequate facilities or instruction. Please be specific.
I actually don't think we have deficiencies in the district's support of those groups. Those are the groups that we do support for the achievement gap in test scores, and we've been narrowing the gap over the years pretty regularly versus our regular education students. We provided them with more teaching staff, aides, time, more technology as well. We still haven't closed the gap, but we are narrowing it very significantly relative to our other students. Oh, and we had accelerated students on there as well. We actually have put an emphasis on those as well recently, making sure that accelerated students get, through our programs, differentiation for all of our students individually. Thank you.
Okay. Well, actually, I can give concrete evidence in the test scores in the last 2 years for the English language learners and the special ed kids. They've dropped from what they were in 2009, and those need to be improved upon, or the district's going to be in trouble in those 2 categories under No Child Left Behind. Also, there's the inclusion model of teaching, which is really a wonderful model. But I've had some parents come to me whose kids used to get pulled out, and the way inclusion teaching works, it's not either pull out or inclusion, it's whatever the child needs. And these children clearly need to be pulled out and have specialized one-on-one instruction, and that's not happening anymore. And there's also a trend of the district to have the resource teacher have the kids work on computer programs in the resource room instead of working with them one-on-one. and they don't benefit the same from working on those computer programs.
Thank you.
Okay, I think there's an interesting dynamic going on with special needs students. As high as the test scores are in the district and the ranking of Carmel Unified within the state, we are dangerously getting close to not meeting the federal No Child Left Behind standard requirements with these special needs students. And if we're not careful, we could go into program improvement by the federal government and their expectations versus the excellence that we've achieved through state standardized testing, which is a bit of an oxymoron. So I think we've done a good job with the resource program. I think the inclusion model really is effective, but you do have to get some one-on-one help. It's the other special needs kids that we really need to try to find some answers for. We need to do it in a hurry because we're kind of losing some ground.
I don't have any concrete evidence other than the achievement gap that we're not providing for the for these individual groups. We have programs, and we've spent time and energy and resources on programs for students at the lowest levels, in the middle of the AVID program, at the higher levels. Con permiso, yo soy la única persona aquí que puede hablar español y yo puedo hablar con la gente y con las familias de nuestros alumnos latinos y asistir en aumentando su experiencia en el distrito. I will be able to speak with the parents of the Latin students and work with that community, which is what is putting us in this situation that we have now. And I look forward to being the board member who can help bring that group up to the standards we need to get them to.
Over the past 5 years, I have seen an increase in teacher support for this subset of students. The inclusion model has been effective, but just not good enough. And we do need to look at more programs and ideas to help these students. Even with the accelerated students, some of them are bored in class, and you know, they're scoring high on tests, but that's not necessarily great. So we need to address this subset of students a little bit better.